Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Shiver and Read It. Today I'll be doing my May TBR. So before I jump into all the books that I want to read this month, if you are new to this channel, please don't hesitate to subscribe down below as well as hit the notification bell. But let's just get right into the video. So before I jump into the 6 prompts for my TBR that I picked from my TBR jar, the first book that I'll be reading is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is a book that I have been trying to read for so freaking long now, but this is for my book club pick. They finally picked the book that I voted on, because I swear the past few months, every time I vote for a book, that is not the book that is ultimately chosen. But this month, finally everyone was picking this one, so I was like, yes, finally I get to read this one. So I'm very excited for this one. All I know is that this is a historical fiction, and it just kind of follows, yeah, it's set in 1983, and it says there's 4 famous siblings throw an epic party to celebrate the end of the summer, but over the course of 24 hours their lives will change forever. I don't know how they will change, but from my own experience with Taylor Jenkins Reid, her characterizations are so well done that I am going to fall in love with the characters. I can already see it, and will definitely give this book 5 stars. I can't imagine not giving this book 5 stars, so I'm very excited for this one. I feel like the past few books that we picked for the book club have been mediocre reads at best, to be honest, so I'm really hoping that this one will change everything, and I would definitely love this book. So this is the first book that I'll be reading for May. Now, because May is Asian American month, I did want to pick all books that were Asian oriented, either by an Asian author or featuring an Asian character, etc. So the 6 prompts that I'll be picking for my TBR will kind of go along this theme. So as always, my first prompt from my jar over here, that will be, let's see, all right, so the first prompt is bookshelf generator. Okay, so I think I picked this one last time too, where I just randomly pick a book and number of shelves and the number of books. So I have 34 shelves, and I have about, I average, depending on the shelf it is, I average between 30 to 50 books, and then I'll go from there. So let me get my phone. Okay, so I got my phone over here, and I have gone from 1 to 34, which is shelf number 22, if you can see it. And then from shelf 22, so 6, okay, so that shelf over there, and I would say there's about 30-ish books in there, so I'm gonna go from 1 to 30, and that is book number 13. So let me go pick my book, and I'll be right back. And obviously, because it's a randomizer, this is not going to obviously fulfill the Asian prompt that I'm trying to give myself this entire month, because obviously I have no choice really in terms of which book it is. All right, so the book that I got from my shelf is Let's Call It a Doomsday by Katie Henry. This is probably the farthest thing from an Asian author book I can possibly find, honestly. But all I know is that this is supposed to be so many ways the world could end, and it follows someone called Alice Kimball, who has made note of all possible scenarios and is prepared for each one. And what she doesn't expect is meeting a girl called Hannah Marks in her therapist's waiting room, and apparently Hannah calls their meeting fate. So I guess things happen from there, but it's supposed to be an engrossing, thoughtful tale about how people survive. So we'll see how this goes. I really don't know a lot about this book, to be honest. I think I've only heard like Emma talk about this book like once, and this is like years ago, so we'll see how this goes. All right, moving on to prompt number 2. Let's see. Okay, it says set in a country. Oh, set in a different country. Wow, I cannot even read my own damn handwriting. Okay, so set in a different country. This is really good because obviously I just have to pick a book that's set in Asia somewhere. But yeah, let me look around my shelves and I'll be right back. Okay, for some reason this was a little bit harder than I expected to find. I don't know why, but I finally decided on Jade City by Fonda Lee for my set in a different country book. I believe this is set in the fantasy metropolis, but it's inspired by like Hong Kong or something, so I feel like it counts in my opinion that it's set in a different country. Obviously it all revolves about like Asian culture. It's supposed to be about jade and how it is the lifeblood of the city of Jianlun, which is a stone that enhances a warrior's natural strength and speed. And it is mined, traded, stolen, and killed for, and is controlled by two families that are equal in power and ruthlessness. So when a modern drug emerges that allows anyone, even foreigners, to wield jade, things kind of happen and there's now open war. I'm really excited for it. I've heard so many good things about the series in general, and I've been, you know, a little bit behind in starting the series, so definitely can't wait to read this. All right, moving on to prompt number 3. Let's see. Recommendation from someone. Okay, so let me look through my shelves to see if I have a book that I know automatically that someone recommended to me. If not, I'm gonna have to go on YouTube or something, or on Bookstagram, and see if there's a book that people recommended, or on Book Talk and see if there's a book that someone recommended that also happens to feature Asian author, Asian protagonist, etc. So for the recommended by someone prompt, I'm gonna go with Yoke by Mary H.K. Choi. I believe this was recommended. I've seen her recommend this like once or twice, and that is Chloe. She really likes this author's like writing and her books, and honestly it is a hit or miss, but this is the last book I have from this author that if I don't like this book by this author, I think this is the 3rd time I've read a book by this author, I am never picking up a book by this author again. It's just not for me, and I don't know, maybe 3rd time's a charm, I have no idea, but I did buy this book before I read the 2nd book, so yeah, now I have to, you know, might as well pick it up and see, and maybe, just maybe, it will be really freaking good. But right now it is a 2-0, and the 2 is not good, so we'll see how this goes. All right, moving on to my prompt number 4. Okay, so this is Black author. That kind of defeats the whole purpose of reading a book by an Asian author or Asian protagonist, but who knows, maybe I can find a Black and Asian author. Let me look. So I feel like there are definitely like mixed authors out there who might be Black and Asian. I have to look. I feel like I have to do some research on this. Let me be right back. All right, so this prompt was so much harder than I expected. I don't know why I thought it'd be easy to find a book written by a Black author having like Asian characters in it, but apparently that is very rare. I found 2 books that fit this criteria. One is The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. This is obviously by a Black author, and the love interest, or no, the main character is Korean American and his love interest is Jamaican American, and I read that book already, so obviously couldn't do that. Then the 2nd book was Take a Hint, Danny Brown, which follows obviously a Black author with a Black main character, but the love interest was a South Asian Muslim man, and I was like, perfect. But I just read that book recently, so obviously the 2 books I can possibly find that fit this criteria, I couldn't read them. So I'm gonna forgo the whole like Asian theme for this one and just find a book by a Black author, and I decided to go with Within These Wicked Walls by Lauren Blackwood. I've heard so many good things about this book. It is also part of the Reese's book club pick, so there's that. But it's supposed to be an Ethiopian inspired Jane Eyre retelling, and I am very intrigued because I feel like Jane Eyre is just one of those classics that is just like, what the fuck is going on? So I'm really excited to see like how this author and how this book will portray Jane Eyre, but in an Ethiopian-esque setting instead. So anyways, very excited for this one. All right, prompt number 5, and that will be, okay, book of the month pick. I definitely have a few choices that revolve around Asians, so I'll be right back. So then for this prompt, my book of the month pick, I'm gonna go with Anna K by Jenny Lee. This is a book that I've heard so much about. I feel like it's heard like Gossip Girl or something, but Asian version. So I am very intrigued by this, and yeah, I cannot wait to see like kind of how this all plays out. But yeah, I'm very excited for this one. And finally, my last prompt here, and that will be lowest rated on Goodreads. Okay, so that basically means lowest rated on Goodreads that I own and featuring Asian something by Asia. So let me be right back. So for this one, I actually used my laptop obviously to separate it and sort it by lowest rating, and for some reason there was one book on there that shouldn't even be on there, but it was there, and it was like not even lowest rating. It was like 4 point something. So obviously I discarded that one, but then the next few books I don't believe are from Asian authors or Asian characters. So I'm gonna go with the next book on this list, which is My Summer of Love and Misfortune by Lindsay Wong. This is by an Asian author, and for some reason this book only has like a 2 point something star, so it is very low rated. I'm not sure why, but it's supposed to follow a girl called Iris Wang who is having a rough start to her summer. Her boyfriend cheated on her, she didn't get into college, and she has no idea what she wants to do with her life, and she does not feel either Chinese nor American to claim her identity, which is Chinese American, and she's basically a sad pizza combo from Domino's, according to her. So I'm kind of curious to see how this goes. I guess her parents sent her to Beijing where she can reconnect with her culture and find herself, and things kind of happen from there. So I'm very curious to see why the rating is so low for this book. Either the main character is like super annoying, which I feel like might be the case, or I don't know, but we'll see how this goes. So these are the books that I'll be reading for this month, with the exception of 3 that are not Asian authors or Asian main characters. I'm excited for all of them, and we'll see how this goes. So anyways, what to say for this video, let me know down below which books are you planning to read for the month of May. And as always, if you like this video, please do give me a thumbs up. It really does help out my channel. And if you'd like to see more content of me, please don't hesitate to subscribe down below, as well as hit the notification bell. And as always, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.